If there was any secret to instant and fantastic manifestation, it would definitely be living in the end. This is why I am such a big fan of Neville Goddard, and I mostly preach his work on my channel. Maybe you don't understand now, but after experimenting in the field of manifestation for a few years and going through some tough times, you will eventually reach the conclusion that nothing works as well as living in the end method. It works 100% of the time, and almost all the success stories attribute their success to this method. So, if manifesting your desires is so certain with this method, then why do people experiment with other methods? I mean, if your success is sure shot and guaranteed with living in the end, then why would you waste your time trying to find some other way? Well, for starters, it is in human nature to try out different things because deep down we all have the fear of missing out. When you hear someone has manifested their goals through some other technique, you simply cannot help and be curious about it. And since you have this fear of missing out, you want to try each and everything under the sun. But there are two problems with this approach. First, if you have the fear of missing out, you will never develop trust in any technique that will help you create the results you want. Everything works. Affirmations work, visualization works, scripting works, but each one of the manifesting methods needs time and consistency. You have to tweak any method according to your personality and taste. But if you are impatient, then chances are that you will never be able to find a manifesting method that works well for you. Secondly, when you hop from one technique to another and nothing works, you start losing faith in yourself and the concept of manifestation. And manifestation is an art that requires a strong belief as its foundation. If you lose that faith, no teacher or technique in the world can help you overcome your situation. Interestingly, many people who even know about living in the end concept don't commit to it with all their heart. The reason? Well, it requires time and mental effort. When we are surrounded by the 3D all the time, it is impossible not to be sucked into its vicious energy. But living in the end requires you to operate from a state of the future, a state where your desire has become a reality, and that is why it seems so difficult. If your bank statement is showing you a lack of money, then how can you fool yourself into thinking like a rich and wealthy person? This does go against our very nature of reacting to what is in the now. There are very few people who can program their minds enough to not be affected by the 3D and live in their dream world as much as they can. Neville Goddard was one of them, and therefore he created and lived a life true to his divine potential. And that is why in every lecture of his we can easily find this message of living in the end. And if you want to get into the state of living in the end, then no tool is as effective as SATS or state akin to sleep. As the name suggests, SATS refers to a technique of reprogramming your mind as you are about to fall asleep. The rationale behind is pretty simple and would even resonate with the most scientific minds who look out for reason and logic in every situation. As our brain prepares to fall asleep, it shifts from the highly active beta state to the alpha state. The alpha waves are the frequency of total calm and peace. It occurs when we are indulging in a mindful activity like meditation or when we get into a state of daydreaming. Our nervous system slows down and relaxes, and the brain starts processing information at a lower frequency. This alpha brainwave is considered to be most effective for conditioning the kind of new information, and people who do hypnosis first get themselves into this state and then perform the hypnosis. As a result, all the information you give to your mind in this state goes directly to the subconscious and impresses it. The subconscious is the source of our life circumstances, and once a piece of information is downloaded in the subconscious, it is bound to become a part of your physical reality. Neville says, "The conscious is personal and selective. The subconscious is impersonal and non-selective. The conscious is the realm of effect. The subconscious is the realm of cause. These two aspects are the male and female divisions of consciousness. The conscious is male. The subconscious is female. The conscious generates ideas and impresses these ideas on the subconscious. The subconscious receives ideas and gives form and expression to them." Many people try their luck at SATS, but only a few stick to it because in the beginning it's difficult to get a hang of it. SATS simply is sleeping in the state of wish fulfilled or living in the end, but it requires conscious effort and focus to get to that state and maintain it until falling asleep. Most of us have been sleeping thinking about the worst-case scenarios or reviewing our day or the past. Over time, this repeated pattern becomes a permanent part of your behavior, and when you try to consciously get into a state of wish fulfilled and do SATS, your own mind revolts against you. Our brain thrives on repetition and likes to repeat things it's familiar with. But trying SATS means you are trying to go against the programming in place, and of course that won't be easy at first. People encounter all sorts of problems when they try to do SATS. Sometimes they cannot get into that trance-like state to visualize their desires, and even if they get to that state, they fall asleep within a few seconds of reaching there. Then some people also complain of becoming sleepless after doing a SATS session. If you are serious about manifesting, then you have to understand that all these are initial teething problems. It's the pain of change you are trying to bring in your body and mind. But the good news is that if you stick with these minor discomforts for a few days, you will eventually program your brain enough not to repel these changes. And then SATS will become a part of your night routine. So it's very important that you commit to SATS with all your heart and decide to do whatever it takes to make it a part of your manifestation journey. SATS is such a powerful method for manifestation that once you get a hang of it, you will forget the discomfort and sleepless nights. Your goals and desires will start coming to life automatically, and that's when you will realize why Neville emphasized so much on living in the end. Also, before you try to get into SATS, you need to decide the theme you are going to follow for the session. For example, if you are trying to manifest money, then your SATS session will be focused on feeling rich and abundant. If you are manifesting your partner, then at the end of the SATS session, you should feel as if you are living the life of your dreams with your loved one. So knowing what you want is super important, and you must have definite clarity on what you are trying to achieve through SATS. Then as you lay in your bed, get into a relaxed position and take some very deep breaths. Each breath you take will slow down your brain chatter and will bring you to the alpha state. Alpha is the super relaxed state between sleep and wakefulness. Once you get into this magic spot, you have to construct a scene of a life where what you desire has been realized in physical form. Feel free to explore what details you want to add to your visualization. The purpose of this whole session is to get into the end feelings, so by all means, do whatever helps you get to that feeling of positive expectation. Feel the joy and confidence of getting to live the life of your dreams and embody that during your SATS session. Once you get to that elevated state of consciousness, try to fall asleep while maintaining that state. In just 3 to 4 days of diligent practice, you will figure everything out, and that's when you will start seeing shifts in your everyday life.